There's some rookies in this WNBA class that are insanely popular, but Caitlin Clark is just different. And I wanted to try to figure out why. Caitlin Clark is one of the most popular basketball players in the world right now, as evidenced by what you're seeing in the WNBA's growth and viewership when she's involved. But she's not the only one contributing to it. There are a lot of players in this rookie class that are insanely popular, as well as rookies to come. So why is it just so different for Caitlin Clark? Why does she stand out? This might be the most popular rookie class the sport had ever seen. And I say might because I'm acknowledging that I can't speak for the popularity of Candace Parker's 2008 class or Tamika Catching's peers in 2002. I don't have a great way to compare Brittany Griner and Elena Delle Donne's 2013 class in terms of sheer popularity from over 10 years ago. But when I see things like all-star voting growing by 500, 600%, viewership records being broken for full seasons before the all-star break even happens, more sellout crowds than I think they've maybe ever seen before, the WNBA has already set merchandise sales records, all-time league pass subscriptions, social media has completely blown up for the league. I think you get my point. And while I fully acknowledge that the other rookies are also insanely popular, almost all of the top viewed games feature one common player. It's Caitlin Clark. And I wanted to dig into why I believe Caitlin Clark stands out and why her gravity is just so different. In a league that's had stars before and a rookie class that's packed full of popular players, she's still just different. And I think I have a decent idea as to why. Let's start with the popularity part first, which is really hard to quantify if I'm being honest. So we're going to do the millennial thing and we're going to go to social media. It's a social media It's a social media world and athletes are no different. And the top followed WNBA players from this year's rookie class are Caitlin Clark, who has 2.8 million followers on Instagram and a little over 465,000 or so on TikTok. Angel Reese has 4 million on both Instagram and TikTok, not combined, separately, 4 million on each platform. Cameron Brink has 1.3 million on Instagram and over 500,000 on TikTok. And then there's a drop off. So we're going to focus on the top 3 as far as rookies are concerned, but I'm also going to mention Paige Bueckers here, who elected to stay in college and not join this rookie class, but has 2 million followers on Instagram and 2.8 million on TikTok. And she, like Angel and Cam, has absolutely mastered the art of growing her brand through social media on top of being a ridiculously good basketball player. And I, for one, can't wait to see her in the WNBA with these peers. But the thing that immediately jumps out to me is that Caitlin Clark's social media following is basketball. Angel, Cam, Paige, their following is more social. And that's not a knock. In today's world, your personal brand on social media is incredibly important, especially for professional athletes. And they've figured out how to use social media to enhance their popularity and grow the sport of women's basketball. And that's incredible. But when I scroll through Caitlin Clark's profiles, she's not doing that. She literally has 9 videos on TikTok, all from college, and clearly she's not using it. On Instagram, she is more active, which I assume is from a social media manager, and it's all basketball. Aside from the occasional, personal behind-the-scenes type photo, everything there is basketball related. She's in a jersey far more than she's in a dress, and she's not doing a whole lot of dancing. What this leads me to believe is that the fans that she has on social media are following her solely because of basketball. They see her play, they follow her online. Whereas the others who are doing the social media thing, they're showing their personalities off the court, their fashion, they're doing the viral dances, they're messing around with teammates. If I scroll Angel Reese's profiles without knowing who she is, I think she's a model. It's almost all fashion and fits. Cam Brink looks like an influencer, heavy on the fashion, whole lot of dancing. And Paige Bueckers might actually have the most interesting balance of all of them. Her Instagram leans way heavier on the basketball, while TikTok is all dancing. And there's nothing wrong with any of these approaches in the slightest, but it is different. Because these other players are gaining social media popularity by participating in social media. And that's likely opening them up to a large group of followers who simply aren't basketball fans. They find them on social media, they follow them on social media, they may not be watching them hoop, in some cases at all. Caitlin Clark gives you nothing to engage with, and there's absolutely no reason to follow her unless you're simply a fan of her playing basketball. It's just a different type of popularity and celebrity, and that's not the only thing that makes her different. She's also different on the basketball court. She's dynamic, she's fun to watch, she has unique range, electric energy. She's an attraction by herself on the court. You can watch an Indiana Fever game and never take your eyes off of Caitlin Clark. She reminds me of Steph in a lot of ways. Of course, there's the obvious step back three from the parking lot, and that comparison has been made a million times. But there's also additional flair, the engaging with the crowd that feeds into her polarization. If she's on your side, you love her. If you're going against her, you hate her. And that's a trait that almost all great athletes have in their prime. But she's not a carbon copy of Steph Curry. Their playing style is actually very different from each other. She's the point guard in its truest sense. The ball runs through her on every single possession. And unlike the heliocentric types like the Houston Harden or the current day Luka, she's a high pace facilitator. It's almost like Steve Nash and Steph Curry had a baby, named her Caitlin, and sent her off to be homeschooled in Iowa with a single assignment of memorizing every second of their game film and shooting 1,000 jumpers a day. Now, this is obviously very high praise, and she's got to keep going to fully earn it. But being atop the league in threes attempted while shooting league average percentage on those and leading the league in assists is a pretty good start when you were playing college basketball a few months ago. Juxtapose this to the other girls, particularly Angel Reese and Cam Brink, who we can actually compare in the WNBA. They are very, very talented, but they can also blend into the game more. They can play a role. They have a ton of upside to grow in the league, and hopefully Cam comes back healthy. And like I said, we haven't even seen Paige in the W yet. There's a massive amount of potential for all of them on the court. But Caitlin Clark can't blend in. And quite frankly, she doesn't get the benefit of the doubt in any way. The moment she steps into the gym, all eyes are focused on her because you can't help but be excited about what she's going to do next. And if she doesn't excite, if she doesn't perform, if she doesn't transcend, she's a bust. The stakes are just higher for her because even amongst a star-studded, high potential group of youth growing women's basketball together, she's just different. My question for you in the comments is whether you think that Caitlin Clark should realistically be in any MVP conversations for the way that she's played, delivered, and the impact that she's had on the game. And while you're down there, like the video so that YouTube knows that, well, it doesn't suck. And subscribe to the channel so that I know you want me to keep making more of them.